wizard.
Are you watching closely?
Avengers! It's alive!
With thy knife tipped and shattered.
It's showtime.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Blockbuster Brawl. I am Caleb Coho. To this point, you probably gathered that much information if you watch the channel for long. I'm going to be joined by some people potentially over the course of the next, 30 minutes while we do this. But I'm excited to kind of talk about what we did in Blockbuster Brawl this year, talk about the things we thought worked, talk about some of the things we thought didn't, answer some questions, and overall just kind of talk about what's next for Blockbuster Brawl going into 2026. So I'm pretty excited to do that with you guys. And we have, I've had a bunch of questions asked to me already. Are you going to do a lot of changes like between season 1 to season 2? I wouldn't say we have a lot, but I think we have a couple substantial ones to get ourselves kind of course corrected, I guess is kind of the best way to say it, is just doing some cleanup after getting a half season in to kind of give you guys the rundown of what we're doing, what we're changing, what we're adding, what we're subtracting, what we're making new. So pretty excited to do that. What I'll start with by saying is kind of reiterating what I said over on the movie Melee recap stream. If you didn't catch that, the Brawl season I think went really well. That first tournament that we did was really fun. Ended up finishing off at the final act 5 with our 15 seed Melee purists, Payson and Dylan, playing our 16 seed Droogs Not Drugs, Igor and David, with the Droogs being the inaugural Blockbuster Brawl Teams champions. Very worthy champions. They played a great tournament. And I think overall, Igor and David was a really fascinating team to watch because they kind of made their chemistry work in real time over that tournament. Every single match they played, they got better at communicating and figuring out who's, better at this, who's better at that, how do we work together on things. Whereas I think Melee purists were a force this tournament because Dylan and Payson are like one human being, like a symbiotic mind of like what they know, what they don't know, but they are like really good at hitting the things they know and getting the max point value out of it and using those lifelines. So I thought they did great. I think we had some great teams that played this year as well that I think are going to be really good next year. Teams like Django and Kashyyyk that I'm really excited to see come back. Smart and Dumber, get jinky with it. Operation Dynamite, a lot of teams that played really well throughout the course of the year with like big performances. Cameron Eats Crow, one of them as well, that I'm excited to see back next year. So we have a lot of people who signed up. And that's the other thing I'll say real quick is I was very overwhelmed by that sign-up sheet. That made me very happy to see how many people were interested in playing just off the sort of test run of our half season. So very excited about that. And I will kind of tell you what's coming to start next season as well. But we'll save that for a little bit later. First, I'm going to tell you what's new, starting with one rule change. We only have one real rule change going into next season. It was addressed to me multiple times off camera throughout the season. It was addressed in the off season, and we're going to go ahead and make that change. So when we do the lifelines, the only change coming to lifelines is that when you shoot your multiplier, if you get an incorrect answer on your multiplier in a round where steals are available, your opponent can steal it for the full value of that multiplier. So if you shoot something for 4 points and get it wrong and your opponent steals it and gets it right, that's 4 points for your opponent. So that's going to be a rule change we implement starting season 2 here in a couple of months. So that's going to be really exciting. Cody, I'm not being held hostage. Don't worry. I know you care so very dearly. But that's the only real rule change we have in this season. Coming up is the multiplier now being worth the full value in steals as well. So something to keep in mind. Otherwise, I think lifelines were a big hit. I think people really like them. I think people are starting to get used to them. And I'm excited to see how people use them going into next season. Speaking of next season, we're going to talk about the things that are changing on a category level. Don't worry, there's not like a totally new thing you have to worry about. Just we're doing cleanup. So first and foremost, directors. the category of directors, my dog did not like that we're talking about directors right now. Directors is a category that I think has been confusing in name to a lot of people because of how it functions in general movie melee, being about data and directors. So we found a better name that fits more what Blockbuster Brawl is. I want to thank Kurt Kolakowski for the suggestion that I am absolutely using right now. It was called Modern Masters. That will be the name of the category going forward. You'll see it's still Nolan, Fincher, and Tarantino going into next season. So don't worry. We're not changing any of the filmographies contained in directors this season. Potentially by the end of next season, we might sub a director out depending on where we're at on a difficulty and question level. But for now, we're just changing the name to Modern Masters to clear up any confusion. Our first category that's going to have some pretty substantial changes here is Grab Bag Blitz. First and foremost, in the category of the nano category, I guess, of on Broadway, we are taking a couple of films out of that category. We are taking out The Wizard of Oz and the Wicked movies. Well, the second one hasn't counted yet, so we just got ahead of it. But Wicked and Wicked for Good will not be in that category, and neither will Wizard of Oz. I know that breaks Ryko's heart somewhere. Ryko, very upset about that, I'm certain. But we are going to be taking that category out for now. Take those out of the category. Instead, we are going to be adding 2 new movies. We are adding Rent and The Phantom of the Opera to On Broadway to replace Wicked and Wicked for Good. You'll also notice we are also removing Cats. The reception was overwhelming. We're out of Cats questions, and no one wanted it anyway. So Cats is out of Brawl. Rent and Phantom of the Opera are the new inclusions on Broadway, alongside the things that already existed. West Side Story, Chicago, Sound of Music, Sweeney Todd, Les Mis, In the Heights, all still there. So don't worry too much. On Broadway's not going to take a huge hit, but we are getting rid of those movies. Sorry, Spence. I know you're probably the biggest asset or defender of Cats. One Hit Wonders, we're going to make one change, small change. We're just adding a movie to One Hit Wonders. We'll be adding E.T. the Extraterrestrial to our One Hit Wonders. Kind of one that kind of felt like a no-brainer. It fits the vibe of that category pretty strongly. So we're going to go ahead and add that in as it will even out our number in Grab Bag Blitz to the same 30 movies across the 4 nano categories. So E.T., Phantom of the Opera, and Rent are the 3 overall new movies in Grab Bag Blitz to worry about. So it gives you something fun. Sorry, Ryko. I'm really sorry. We're going to move on to our next category, which is Monster Mash. Small change. Don't worry. We are going to be removing the Brendan Fraser Mummy trilogy from Monster Mash. It just doesn't really fit in that category. It's really only there in name only as the Mummy. Instead, we are going to be adding 3 one-offs to fit that category to replace them, which will be Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, the Van Helsing film with Hugh Jackman, and 1931's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with Frederick March. So those will be the 3 new movies added. We'll get some Jekyll and Hyde representation. We'll get some fun 2000s sort of modern Monster Mash fun, and then obviously the big Del Toro Frankenstein will be joining in place of the Brendan Fraser Mummy trilogy. So somewhere Kurt Kolakowski, I'm sure, is really happy. He doesn't have to worry about the Mummy and Monster Mash. Our next category we're going to go to is Dark Futures. This is probably the one with the biggest change happening to it. We're getting rid of 4 movies out of Dark Futures, and we're going to be adding something totally different. So we'll be getting rid of the 2 Dunes, Elysium, and Oblivion. The one-offs are all out of Dark Futures, and we'll be replacing it with the Hunger Games. So the 5 Hunger Games movies that exist now will be available at the start of the season, while those 4 are out of the category. The 6th one, Sunrise on the Reaping, will join probably in season 3 because it'll be a late edition this season. It won't fit in with the rest of the year, but you'll have a 6th Hunger Games to look forward to in season 3 and 5 to play with this season. So the Hunger Games to Dark Futures, Oblivion, Dune, and Elysium are gone. Yeah. Oh, no, not Oblivion is correct. I don't think anyone was too mad about that going. Too many 4-pointers that ruined people's lives. And yes, Hunger Games. I'm very excited to have the Hunger Games in. Next, we're going to go to We Are Family. This is a category that we had a lot of, turnt heads and confusion about this season. So we went in and made a big change to sort of clean it up and fix it. We Are Family. We're getting rid of Beetlejuice. Everyone, when we heard you, it just makes no sense. We're going to add the 4 theatrical Spy Kids movies, though. So Spy Kids 2, 3 Game Over, and 4 All the Time in the World will be in this season. So you have 4 new Spy Kids movies in place of your 2 Beetlejuices. So don't worry. No more Beetlejuice. I think I just said that 3 times. Whoops. Which I guess kind of brings me to what the new changes, a couple of other changes we're going to have happen. So Hellbound. I'm sure the horror heads were like, please don't take my Hellbound demon movies. Don't worry, nothing is leaving. We do have one small addition. Beetlejuice is staying. It's just going to move to Hellbound. So the 2 Beetlejuices are still going to be here. They are just going to fall in the category of Hellbound now, since he is a demon. Literally a demon. So we're going to move it to that category, give you something that breaks up the sort of overbearingness of that franchise of Exorcist, Insidious, and all of those movies. Give you 2 kind of reprieves in the middle that are a little more fun, but still fit the themes of that category. So, sorry, Matt, you are so right. Don't worry. And don't worry, Brian, Beetlejuice, still here. It's just going to be, the juice is just in Hellbound and not We Are Family. So, that brings me to Spirit of Adventure. We definitely had some questions about Spirit of Adventure this offseason. A couple people said it felt like we were taking some of the lower tier franchises and kind of using them. And you're like, you're right. There's a big one that we don't have. And that's because I was trying to play nice. And now I'm going to go ahead and use it. So Spirit of Adventure, we're going to get rid of our one-offs, which are The Lone Ranger and Uncharted. Those 2 are gone. No one's going to be heartbroken that those 2 movies are out of here. But I'm going to give you a lot of movies in return for it. So your new additions in Spirit of Adventure are the 5 Indiana Jones movies and the 3 Brendan Fraser Mummy movies. When I said they didn't fit right in Monster Mash, I was right. They don't. They belong in Spirit of Adventure. They and the Indiana Jones movies gives you 8 new films. Not really new. 3 of them you've been studying already, I would assume. But 8 new movies in place of 2 movies that no one, I think, is really heartbroken are gone. So Spirit of Adventure, I think, got a lot more fun for people. I'm sure Igor is going to be very happy. He's got a bunch of movies that he likes coming in. I have a bunch of movies that I like more now coming in as well with Indiana Jones. I'm sure Kirk's happy that he doesn't have to worry about the Brendan Fraser movies in Monster Mash. I'm sure he's upset he still has to worry about him. Jacoby, don't worry. You still get your Mummy trilogy. It's just a place that makes more sense. We're going to move over to Space Odysseys. What big changes could possibly be coming to a category that has 3 franchises and a couple of one-offs? Well, a couple of one-offs are leaving. We are going to be getting rid of Event Horizon and Starship Troopers this season. Those 2 one-offs are being, at least for now, retired, as we will be bringing in some new categories, or I guess franchises, rather. The Dune franchise is moving to where it belongs, Space Odysseys, as well as a new one-off of Galaxy Quest. So we're going to let you have a new one-off that's a little more fun to go along with Fifth Element. And now you have the 2 Dunes moving to a category where I think they made more sense all along. They always felt right over there. So we just put them where they made more sense to begin with. So that's the big one. And that is it, I think. No, sorry, one more. One more category. This is actually the biggest one, the biggest change we're going to have. We're overhauling one category a lot. And by a lot, I mean we're adding a new franchise to pair with it. We are going to edit the Wands, Wardrobes, and Rings category. Ryko, don't worry. I didn't break your heart entirely. I might have actually just made you happier. The category is called Wands, Wardrobes, and Rings. Oh my. It'll be the Wizarding World, the Chronicles of Narnia, the Lord of the Rings, and now the Wizard of Oz. So we'll be moving the 6 Oz films over to this category for now. So you'll get to see the Wizard of Oz, The Wiz, Return to Oz. Oz the Great and Powerful, Wicked, and Wicked for Good will now be in this category alongside the Harry Potter franchise, the Narnia franchise, and the Lord of the Rings franchise. As we will have more Narnias coming, I think there's another Lord of the Rings film on the horizon. Harry Potter, a little dormant. So we wanted to give something to make that category a little less stagnant, that had something that was still adding things, as there are more Oz movies in development now after Wicked for Good. At least for now, we're going to have more movies set in the world of Wicked coming, as well as a new Narnia franchise. So that gives us new life to that category when we add those in. So very excited about that. I do care, Raiko, don't worry. But that is the last category change. So that's what's new. That's what's coming to Brawl next season. Not a lot of new things total in terms of actually adding new things. I think we added what? We added 3, 6, 5. So that's 14, like 18 movies, I think is what we added for you this offseason. And it's all stuff that I think you guys like anyway, for the most part. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think you guys are going to enjoy what we're doing category-wise next season. I hope that cleans up a lot of the sort of confusion. I think that was a thing too for a lot of players that I got as a criticism, was I can't really keep track of what's in where because it doesn't track in my mind as fitting into that category. So we went through and took care of all of those and moved things into where they, I think, belong more, or at least make more sense internally. So that's exciting. As for what is next, the next thing you guys are going to see is the last one standing. I'll be putting the sign-up post for that as well pretty quickly. We'll have that up on the page. We'll be doing our own last one standing on January 11th. A week after Melee does theirs, Brawl will be doing our own last one standing the following Sunday. So very excited about that. So we'll get you the sign-up sheet. You'll have a chance to get a shot at playing for the title. And then our first picture in singles next year, we'll be launching our singles division with a 16-person tournament, but it is a pick'em. Like I alluded to during the final act and in the Melee, it is a pick'em tournament. Payson, for winning the triple threat at final act, will have the first pick in that pick'em, and we'll be going through all the names using a randomizer, trying to get as many people in as we can for that 16-person tournament. Well, we have 15 other names that we're going to put in, but a lot of you signed up. Don't worry. I'm going to get as many of you in the first season as I can. But for that 16-person tournament, we're going to use a randomizer to get seeds and put people into the tournament. So once I have the 16 names, I will be reaching out to those 16 people to do the pick'em, and the pick'em video will kind of reveal to you who's going to be in the tournament. So that will be fun. As for teams next season, don't worry. Every team that exists on the roster now is going to get to play in pretty short order. And all the new teams that are joining, you will be playing pretty much immediately. So don't worry. Almost every person who is signed up is going to be addressed pretty quickly, as fast as I can. Because the other announcement is we are going to attempt at the start to do 2 matches a week. The goal is to give you 2 matches a week, and we have that on the docket to give you. So expanding how many you get from us in a week by doubling it. So we should be able to give you 1 singles match and 1 teams match a week. So we should be able to kind of fit more of you in a season this way. So I'm pretty excited about that. Going to be good. Going to be fun. I'm going to look at the comments here, see if anyone has any questions. Yes, Brian, teams who didn't play last season, you're going to get a chance to play pretty early in this season as well. So we have, again, like a lot of people signed up. I'm going to get to as many of you as I can in this season. But it is going to be a very large chunk of people to fit in a 2-match-a-week system, but I'm going to do my best. So pretty excited about that. Sign up. And then let's see. Yeah, no, right. It is on the 11th. Melee's on the 4th. We figured that out. A little bit of switching back and forth for a moment, but we got it settled. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them in the comments right now so I can kind of answer some of those for you. But I am excited to see it. No, Nazario, it is not my best angle, but it's the angle I got right now. So thank you for that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll go ahead and I'll take a couple of them. But that's sort of the big breakdown of what's coming, what's changing, and what we're going to do to start. So Act 1, you're going to see a lot of teams matches and the first half of the first round of singles. Yes, lifelines will still not be allowed on the 3 and 4 point question. So that's not changing. You still have to use them by your 1-2 in round 3. So that part's not changing. The only thing that's changing is if you use your multiplier in a round where you can steal. So round 2. If you use the multiplier and miss, then your opponent will get it for the value that you would have gotten it for. That's the only big change there. Man, Nazario, is that you switching between your account and the video store account, or is that you and Mike just both commenting? Yes, I believe so. Ryko is my man on the website, so he is going to be helping me out there. So he should have that updated before. Well, he will have that updated before the next season begins, but we'll have that updated pretty quick now that we have this video and information out, because I want you guys to be able to look at the list and all that, so you'll get to see the updated list of what's coming. I guess that's another thing I should answer is how we are going to handle new releases this year. Is that with the new releases, a month from when they are made available to you on digital is when we will start asking. So we are going to say, like, when Superman came out on digital in September, we would have started asking about it in October. So you're going to see, you'll get an announcement when the movie is now on digital, and then we'll let you know, like, hey, this is your 1 month warning before we start incorporating it into matches. So all the new releases from 2025 are eligible at the start of this coming season when we start filming, with the exception of Avatar, Fire, and Ash. Once that is made available on digital, you will have a month from when it's on digital before you'll start getting Fire and Ash questions in Brawl. But the rest of it, ready to roll. So those are all going to happen. Let's see. Can new people? You can sign up for the free for all. I'm gonna absolutely take as many people as I can. It's gonna be a 30-person last one standing. So, we will see how many people sign up for it. But I encourage you, go ahead and sign up. I just said that, Spence. Yeah, we have a last one standing that we are doing on the 11th of January. So, I'm on my laptop. Sorry, I'm not even on my phone. Yeah, I know. They won't let you in Melee. It makes for a good joke, though. If you go ahead and try and use it in Melee, it's a good laugh. When it comes to strength, they do not include categories that aren't in Brawl competition. No. So the only thing you can use for a strength in Brawl is things that are in Brawl. But if you wanted to say Brawl comedies, you could. You would just only get the comedies. Only would get movies in Blockbuster Brawl that are comedies. That would be how that would work. I'm good, Chris. I appreciate the question. That's very nice of you. So will there be a record reset? No, at least not now, because you guys just started. Get good, I think, is what I would say. But yeah. What do you mean by a final match? Like for the tournament or what? Because for the tournament, the finals of the tournament will be the title match for singles. That will be the title match. I don't know what you mean. Oh, do you mean? You meant for last one standing? Last one standing is going to be the same format as the Melee last one standing. So it will also take the same format. So we'll have the final match and everything exactly like Melee's. So we'll be using the same format. I want everything when it comes to those to be uniform, because we are one channel. We are one multiplex. So we're going to use the same formats as each other when it comes to last one standings and turmoils and, all that jazz. So, yes, turmoil ending. Yep. It'll have a turmoil ending on last one standing. So we'll have the same format. I'm excited about that. So, any other questions? Kind of see if there's anyone else popping through. I am going to take a second to shout out my team. Some of them might have been in throughout here, might not have been able to be here. Ended up not being a super long one. I know, Cody, 2 leagues working together like as one. That's a crazy idea, crazy thought. Who'd have ever thought? But no, to Brittany Tapley, who is quite literally the reason Brawl exists, in my opinion. She's very good at like helping form the ideas into ironclad rules. So she did a great job. She does a great job for us. Great writer. And then also got to thank the rest of my writer room: Tyler Birch, Caleb Boatman, Jeremy Potters. You guys rock. You guys are very good at what you do. So there are no other questions. I think that's going to do it. We got in and out under 30. A Caleb Coho video that in under 30 while he's just talking to people. Crazy. Mike Hanley, sound the presses. But thank you guys for watching. I'm excited for you guys to see what's coming into Brawl next season and how it works. Excited to see you guys watch the new movies and study and see letterbox reviews for the new stuff, and it'll be fun. So thanks, guys. We'll see you guys at the last one.
I'll be back.
Hail to the king, David.
What's your favorite?